a ripple wave hab. To make it easier for myself, I will refer to bumps from now on, because that's easier, because it also looks a little bit like bumps. Hi everyone, the bump hat. This is a hat we have developed on a Dutch page. A friend of mine called Night Sky was making this hat on an addi. We thought this would be a nice idea to make it on the loom, and as you can see, it worked. This is a hat done in a true knit, and as you can see, that's also possible, but when you're working on nifty knitters, size looms, this hat will be quite small, so most of the time when you do Uwrap, the hat will be a bit bigger. How can you do a bump hat? When you have a 41 packs loom, you can divide the loom into 4 segments. Most of the time when you do 10 stitches for a bump, it will have this effect. When you make them smaller, it will be more bumpy. It's something you could try out. So what did I do? This is the anchor pack. You put a marker or a piece of scrap yarn, as long as it's the same color, on pack 1, and you just count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and on the 10th pack you put another marker. You do that with that one and with that one, and as you can see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Visually you would put a marker over here, but it's not that bad, otherwise you can't divide it an easy way. Okay, then we have to have one in exactly the middle. You can do this, of course. Then this one is left over, so you put a marker on it and you're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, etc., etc. Okay, on a 36 packs loom, when you divide 36 by 10, you get a difficult amount, so I have decided to divide it by 9, so I also get 4 segments. Also on the first pack, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And this one on the 9th, and this one on the 9th. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So the last one will be 8 stitches. Then you are going to divide this segment also. Okay, this is not exactly the middle. 9 divided by 2 is 4.5. So I'm putting this one on the first pack and the second one I'm putting on the 5th pack. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's not exactly the middle, but almost. And you're just going to count. You are having this one on the 9th, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Of course there are other ways, and this is the most easiest way of doing it. As long as as you divide the loom, you are more equal. I have decided to make a brim with a rib stitch. So knit 1, purl 1, and the knit stitch in this particular hat is the Uwrap. And with this hat it is a true knit and a purl. So this is Uwrap purl, and most beautiful size for this is 6 to 8 centimeters. So my brim is also that amount of centimeters, and so I know, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I have to make 9 for a bump section, and in this case it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 rows. So that is different. But I always say a thing that is very important with knitting is your measuring tape. So you have to have that in your, how many centimeters you want to have your hat. That's your choice, of course. This one is a little bigger or has more length because I wanted to give it a bit of slouchy effect, so there is a possibility of putting a big ponytail into the hat. And this one is a little smaller. Most of the times I put a centimeter on top of my head and then I pull it down to the point on my ear where I want to have the hat. I just hold the centimeter very tight and just look how many centimeters that is. And that's the size you can put on your loom, so you know how many centimeters you have to knit. I have started the hat with a double Uwrap cast on, but if you have another cast on that suits you well, be my guest. That doesn't matter at all. Okay, so it is wrap, put your hook in it, wrap, 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 not too loose and not too tight. So that's how you start the and I'm sure there are bunches of videos on the internet explaining how to do the double Uwrap cast on, and I'm doing them one by one because of a good tension. Okay, we were going to do a brim with a rib stitch, a knit stitch and a purl, and in this case the knit stitch is a Uwrap and you do a purl. Now most of the times, because it's 2 stitches, you have to have a loom that has an even amount of pegs, but of course you have looms, in this case 31, and then I'm going to do the last one, a knit stitch, and I'm starting again with a knit stitch. So in this case there will be 2 knit stitches next to each other. If you have another solution for that, be my guest. And if you want to know a bit more about how to do the rib stitch, there's another video on this channel, Rib Stitch Luminology, and there are tips and tricks in it how you can do the rib stitch a more easier way. So I would invite you to watch that if you are going to make the brim. Meten is weten is a Dutch saying, and that's literally translated as measuring is knowing. You put your centimeter or inch meter to it and you just check. I want to have my sections or areas 6 centimeters. Every yarn, every way of knitting, because I knit kinda loose, but if you knit kinda tight, you will have to have more rows, so take notice of that. It's a very important tool, a measuring tape, when you knit. Okay, this one, I was counting the V-shapes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So this hat was 9 rows. And if you have this one, I will try to have it in the video. You just count the V-shapes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And the one on the back is 11. Why it's so important? 11 and 9. In this one you're making the bump in the 10th row and you just knit another row with that one color. It looks more beautiful when you changing colors. When you are knitting it in one color, it does not matter exactly, as long as you do it in equal rows. And this one was 9 rows, so I'm making the bumps in row 8 and I knit another Uwrap row. There are a few ways of changing colors, and I will just show you how I'm doing it. But if you have found a way of doing it that suits you, I'm not the one to say don't do it that way, just do it your own way. Okay, I just cut off most of the times I say more than a finger length, put it down and make sure it is as long as the cut off, and then we are going to Uwrap the first stitch. Just hold it with both strands and just gently, don't pull at your yarn, otherwise this one will get shorter. And you're just going to do the whole Uwrap row. Now, this is my way of doing the Uwrap, and I'm doing it one by one because then my tension will be the same everywhere in the head. So there is a video Uwrap numerology on this channel. If you want to know more about it, you can watch that. Okay, now we're finally almost at the last stitch of the row, and as you can see I already put some markers on the loom, also on 10 stitches apart, because this is a 31 pack loom. Okay, this is my last stitch, and here was the weave-in ends. This one you have to do just easy and gentle, and just pull at your weave-in ends. The first stitch is also the one that's going to loop. You can hold it, either you hold it and just knit the stitch and continue. Don't pull at your first stitches, otherwise you will see it. Okay, knit 3 stitches, and then there were 2 long tails. What you are going to do is just pull and watch that they don't get too small or are too loose. And that's what you do. Just watch, what is my knitwork doing? Okay, then I'll put a knot into it, just like you're doing your shoes. Just take a closer look at this and try to give it the same tension. This one is beneath, this one is up. So the one up stays up and the one below stays below, and you make another one. And just check if your tension is still the same, and just pull it. And that's how you can change colors. I'm now going to knit 10 rows and we'll be back to show you how to do the bumps.